Well, this is exciting, isn't it? We have the screen that you see at the beginning of a new island. You guys may remember that I got a second Switch a while ago and we're finally getting around to playing with it. I did get the Pocket Camp collaboration items before Pocket Camp goes down for end of service in a couple of days from me recording this, which is really weird to think about, but that's neither here nor there. I'm really excited about this. I was thinking of maybe doing like a challenge sort of island. That's not what's going to happen here. I was inspired by a streamer to make a Christmas island. That's what they're doing. I'm not copying whatever they're doing, and I don't think I really want it to be 100% Christmassy. Like, it's definitely going to have Christmas elements to it, but I really want it to be more wintry with like Christmas touches around, like some of the festive trees and things like that. Unfortunately for me, where I am currently, my internet is terrible and I can't do multiplayer. The thing is set to NAT Type B, which I know it's supposed to be my other Switch. My main one is always NAT Type B for like the connections that I have, and it's been fine. However, where I am right now temporarily does not seem to have a connection to be able to do multiplayer. I tried going to a treasure island. I got like a system error. It did not work out well for me. And then I tried to play with a friend of mine and I was able to load into her island, but it gave me like the error screen with the Rossetti on it, like when you have a communications error, and it sent me home. And I know it wasn't her internet. It was definitely mine. I was just delusional and thought that it could work. So no treasure islands for me, at least until I'm somewhere with better internet, which will be soon. But we'll see. I also, in the future, would really like to maybe stream. My situation right now in terms of like where I am is weird. Like I move around a lot in terms of like I'm in one part of the country half the year, the other part of the country the other half. It's really confusing. But I honestly think we did a great job with those 4 maps that we got. I didn't feel like I needed to re-roll, and I'm glad I didn't spend all the time to re-roll. I didn't really think about fruit or airport color or anything, because I figured that even whatever our native fruit is, which it's cherries, we could just get rid of that and replace the cherry trees with anything else. It really doesn't matter, but I like how the cherries look in the winter. And we also got really lucky with villagers. We have Rold and Renee. Rold, I think I'm going to keep around because he's a penguin. Renee, I'm not quite sure. She's fine for now. I would like to get their photos before sending them on their way. We'll see. I think that we did great here in terms of our luck. Blue airport too, just like on my regular launch island that I have. So that means that we're going to get the same items in the Nook Stop thing as we do on my Animal Crossing Switch. And speaking of that, because I didn't connect the Animal Crossing Joy-Cons to this Switch, Nintendo did not send me an Animal Crossing Switch in the mail. But like, I don't really care. It's not a big deal. I am a little disappointed because it does make my life a little more difficult to be able to fast track with resources and DIYs for the time being. I know that I could just send my main profile over there because I'm playing on my second Nintendo account. With this, I could just send my main profile over there and do local play and drop stuff off, but it is what it is. I just have to get over it. I wanted to place their tents on the beach because I feel like that's like the best way to go, because then I won't really have to move them all around. Later on, unfortunately, you'll see there's no room for the museum on the beach. I actually like the tents. I do like the houses better, but I think that the tents are really cute. And I think that the little tutorial that we have here where you go through, get the fruit, the tree branches, and name your island is a really nice way to introduce you to everything and pass the time before you sync to the Switch clock. I'm looking forward to this. I think it'll be a new, refreshing change of pace. Obviously, I'm keeping my launch island. I think I talked about this in a previous video. That is not going away. I have too many attachments to it, but I am looking forward to starting fresh on a second Switch, on a second island, and then in the future deleting this island and using it for other things. Like maybe doing some challenges, like, I don't know, finishing the Critterpedia in 4 days or something. I'm not actually going to do that. But doing some sort of challenge like paying off my loan or using only fish to pay off my loan. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out here. I know that Dagnall has done a ton of challenges. He's like the guy when it comes to New Horizons challenges. I am not the girl when it comes to New Horizons challenges. So I'm hoping that I can come up with something fun or maybe try some of the stuff that he's done so far just to see how I do at it. Because a lot of the things that he does requires like restarting, which is obviously not what I want to do on my main island. This is different. I think it is so weird that this is not Fawn. It is Kringle. Another thing too, I struggled with what to come up with to name this island. I googled like some Christmas sounding names or wintry sounding names. I came up with Kringle because I liked how it sounded. I also had to like quadruple check that I spelled it correctly because I was so anxious of messing up and then having to start all over. That would have really sucked. I wish that we could change our island name or our player name like once or twice. Like give us the option. I'll gladly pay 100,000 bells or something ridiculous for like a name change voucher. I don't understand what the problem would be with that. It would make it easier for people to be able to switch. Like maybe they started their island with one name, then they changed their name and they want it to be reflective of their new name. I also know that people don't typically name their characters after themselves. I'm just not unique. I'm not hip. And I couldn't really come up with anything fun. I was thinking of doing like a little character and having her have like a little wintry Christmas name, but I just want it to be me. That, and my name is uncommon because of the two N's, so I can't really find anywhere else with my name. I can't find a keychain or anything either with my name on it. If you go to like one of those stupid little tourist trap things, you will not find my name there. I messed up so much here. We could have been so much further if I read the dialogue. But honestly, this game has so much dialogue that I don't understand how people can even keep up with it. I also, for some reason, thought that we started out with only 10 pocket spaces. I forgot that it was actually 20. I've been watching a lot of like restart videos lately from a couple of different streamers, and you would think that I would know what to do because I've been consuming that content, but no, I guess I just don't pay enough attention. So now we're here and we are playing this game, not 100% aware of what we're doing. Mainly with the museum. Had I known that like I could have just talked to him about moving here and then talked to him about creatures or whatever, and that things would have gone by so much more quickly, I would have done that immediately and we would have been on our way. But no. The other thing is, I don't know why, but I had it in my head that the loan, you know, like your first loan that you pay with the Nook Miles, for some reason I thought it was 9,800 Nook Miles. I don't know why I thought that. If I had just paid attention and read the dialogue and paid attention to like the restart videos I'd been watching, I would have known that it was 5,000, and as usual I would have been able to pay it off a lot quicker and we would have been able to upgrade a lot quicker. Not that it would have really made a huge difference. I mean, we're already on day 2 now. My Switch was not in current time, obviously, and I sacrificed myself to be stung by bees twice so I could get Nook Miles for it. It was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do because those dang wasps are worth so much money, and it would have helped me in the future to pay off my loan quicker. I wish that like when you got stung like that twice that you just appeared normal and you didn't have to make medicine, but this game clearly hates us. Also, am I the only one that loves the tent? I don't want to keep the museum forever like that because I want the roost and I want all the exhibits and stuff and red and to progress, but I wish that like we could still keep the tent as an extra building. Maybe Blathers could live there and we could convert it into his house, much like our tents and our villagers' tents. Part of me was actually thinking doing commentary as I was recording this, like streaming, but to myself, and I didn't know what to really talk about because I didn't really have a lot to talk about. This is 4 hours of footage that I filmed. Like, I filmed myself going around weeding everything. I didn't keep really any of that in. I don't know why I did that. I guess like I just figured that if something happened, I would want to include it, so best to film everything. That might be what ends up happening on this island. But when I remuxed that from OBS into an MP4 file, that was like over 56 gigabytes for the one file because it was 4 hours long. So I hope you guys really like this video. Please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. It would really help me out. I never ask you guys to do that. I always just ask you to subscribe if you haven't already. That would also help me out and I would appreciate it. But back to Blathers' tent. I think it's really cozy. And I really also wish that Celeste would have had her museum shop opposite the roost in this game. It's a real shame that we took away her business because she was a budding hardworking businesswoman, and she sold some really fun things. And also, it would be nice to have those museum exhibits back that we could make our own things into from New Leaf. Again, a New Leaf thing that was fun. I made one of my museum exhibits a trophy room. It was really neat. I put all my fish and bug tourney trophies that I had ever won in there, and it was a good time. But New Horizons, for all of its great things, has a lot of faults, which I talked about in a previous video. Don't get me wrong, I love this game, especially the beginning parts of it. It's very cozy, but sometimes having all of the power to decorate every single square inch of my island is too much. Part of me too was also thinking of making this a no terraform island, but I hate that I can't just walk right onto Red Secret Beach. Like, I would hate to put a ladder there or like try to carve out space for a ramp, and that would involve terraforming. So that's just not going to happen. Finally, we unlocked the wetsuit, so I got that, and here we are now again talking to Nook and going through all of his dialogue. I'm pretty sure it's about my house. I think I said this earlier, but my Switch clock was not synced to whatever the time was in real life. I was playing this at night, like in the evening and at night, and I didn't really want to play the game in the dark. It's easier for me to see if I'm playing it when the game is daylight, for the most part. Also, it's easier for me to see the weeds. I really appreciate that we unlocked design mode pretty much immediately upon building our house. I think in New Leaf you had to do all of your decorating manually, and then eventually you unlocked the design mode. I could be completely misremembering because it's been a very long time since I've played that game. I also like the wallpaper and flooring here. I know it's very basic. A lot of you guys might hate it, but I think it's a really good color combination. And we actually now have the shop quest. Like, isn't that amazing? We're gonna be building Nook's Cranny, and that means that we have to get a whole bunch of crap. Luckily, I've been collecting a lot of iron nuggets, so those shouldn't be too hard to grab. The wood is gonna be annoying because it's meaning that I'm gonna have to craft a lot of those axes and chop a lot of trees, and that in turn means that I'm going to have to shake them first to make sure that I don't get stung by wasps again. The entire time that I've been going through this thus far, I have yet to find 5 wasps on my island, and I think that's because there's one of them hiding on an upper level cliff, and I can't yet get to that because I do not have the ladder. It's not the end of the world, but it would be really nice to catch that 5th wasp. I'm pretty sure that you get Nook Miles for it. In completely unrelated news, I finished my 2024 Goodreads challenge the other day. Literally, it was either like Thursday or Friday that I finished. No, it wasn't Friday. It must have been like Wednesday or Thursday that I finished reading the last book in my 2024 Goodreads challenge. I had challenged myself to read 40 books this year. Genuinely did not think I was going to make it, but I read some shorter books and I like devoured them one right after the other, and that really helped get me to where I am today here. If you're interested in finding out what I read and seeing all my reviews and stuff, I do have my Goodreads linked in my link tree, which is always in the description. If you guys want to follow me over there and check it out, don't feel pressured. I love reading, and I'm always looking for book recommendations, so leave some down below. I typically like fantasy, young adult stuff, fiction. Overall, I'll pretty much read anything. I felt so bad that I couldn't give Pascal this scallop, but it needed to go to Blathers. I mean, I know he really doesn't care because he's just a villager AI, but I still felt really bad about it. We're selling an extra stone axe because one of my villagers gave it to me, and we finished my loan payment. That was quick. It's not going to be as easy the next time because that's a big number. Actually, it shouldn't be that difficult. If I dive enough, I'm not going to use any of my Nook Miles to get bell vouchers. I feel like that's kind of cheating, to me at least. And because I can't use a treasure island right now to get extra Nook Miles tickets, I really need all of the miles that I can get to go through this arduous process. Anyway, we are done now. I'm gonna go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this. I am hoping to do these maybe once a week. We'll see, especially going into the new year. Please leave any comments, feedback, or suggestions down below, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. I don't have any reactions, so I'm gonna go now. Bye!